Hey guys, it's Olivia here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I'm here to give you one last backlist book haul. So for those of you who don't know, I've been on a book haul for the past 12 months. I'm almost at the end of my year-long buying ban. But before I went on my buying ban, I had done a 6-month buying ban, and in between those two buying bans, I had one book haul where I bought a lot of books. So that's actually from last year, but I'm thinking of sharing it now because some books arrived, and I just want to show you these books very quickly, and then I'll go back to my previous ones that I bought back then because I never showed it to you guys. So the first book that I want to show you is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, and this was kindly sent to me by Joe from Average Joe Reads. I am so excited to read this one. It is about these two boys who fall in love, and once they meet, the one who believes he is straight starts to feel feelings that he's never felt for any other boy before. It sounds so cute, and I'm in a little bit of a slump this month, so I think I'm just going to trash my TBR entirely and read this one and then see about the rest of my TBR. And another one that was also sent to me gifted was Clap When You Land by Olivia-Savannah. I did talk about this one in the recommending books to Black booktubers video, and it follows these two girls who live in different places and they have the same father, but they don't know it yet. It is only when that father dies in a plane crash that they realise they have a sister that they never met, and they are struggling through that grief together and getting to know each other together. I really like Olivia-Savannah's book The Poet X, and this is another novel in verse, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I was literally just about to start editing when two more books arrived, so I'm just going to talk about them quickly. And we have When Life Gives You Mangoes by Corinne Getton. This is a middle grade book that is written by a Jamaican British author, which makes me very excited. She is also black, and this one is middle grade. Clara lives in Jamaica and she can't remember anything that happened last summer. However, when a new classmate arrives from England, everything starts to go wrong, her friendships, her situation at home, and then the summer storms start happening and she starts to remember everything that she forgot. I am just so excited to read it, and this cover is gorgeous. The Deep Blue Between by Ayesha Haruna Atta, and this one is a young adult novel that follows these two twins, and their paths that they take in their lives diverge. One of them ends up in the Gold Coast of West Africa and one of them end up in Brazil. However, these twins remain connected by shared dreams of water that they have, and the question is whether fate and their lives will let them reunite at some point. This also sounds like it's going to be a very good book, another black female writer. So thank you to Pushkin Press for sending me these two books to read and review. Oh look, my nails and my shirt match the books. Love it. I'll let past Olivia take it away and you can hear all about those books, some of which I have now read. City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, and City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. You'll notice that the final book in the series is not here because I already own a physical copy of that. I read them way back when they were still coming out. That was one that I pre-ordered for myself and just have on my shelves already. I really wanted to get these editions with the old covers, the original covers, because first of all that's the one I have for Cities of Heavenly Fire, and also because I don't like any of the new covers that came out as much as I like these covers, and when I read them with these covers, so they just hold a lot of nostalgia for me. So I wanted to make sure I got this series in this edition. So I got these secondhand, as I don't think they sell them anymore, so it was really nice to get all of these secondhand, €1 each. Then I got The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. This is basically a brilliant historical fiction that is very popular. A lot of people know it. It follows this young girl, Liesel, and she is living in Nazi war Germany and she's stealing books. However, her parents also bring a Jewish person, I believe, into the house and they are hiding him, and it just follows their story. However, death is also a character in this story, and at the beginning he kind of says what's going to happen at the end. It's a very emotional read and I thought it was really brilliant when I read it, so it's nice to finally have a copy for myself because it's one of my favourites. Then we have No Love Allowed by Kate Evangelista, and I also got this one, oh, and The Book Thief secondhand. So this one is basically a fake dating trope romance, and that's all I'm really going to say about it. It's just a huge fake dating trope romance. It's following the usual, but I really liked the characters and I just really enjoyed the story. I read this for a review, so I've got a review link on my blog, and I'll link that down below. But I just thought this book was brilliant and I really want to reread it, and I was thinking about it and then I saw it available for secondhand purchasing, so I got it. The Chocolate Box Girl series by Kathy Cassidy, which is Cherry Crush, Marshmallow Sky, Summer's Dream, Cocoa Caramel, Sweet Honey and Fortune Cookie. So these are like upper middle grade romance books pretty much, and I was reading Kathy Cassidy when I was younger and I just loved all of her books, and this was towards the end of me loving her books. So I've read the first 4 but I haven't read the last 2, and I was thinking about them and how sweet they were, and I was thinking I would actually love to read all of them again, starting from the beginning. Similarly, we have the Falling Fast series. It's a quartet by Sophie Mackenzie. This one is Falling Fast, Defy the Stars, Burning Bright and Casting Shadows. So I read the first 2 and didn't read the other 2, and I would like to go back and read the other 2. So this series follows Flynn and River. River is a plus-sized girl who is lacking in a lot of confidence, and Flynn is a boy who has anger issues and gets angry really quickly, and I think they find each other and fall in love, and then it's about them trying to keep up their confidence, keep curbing their anger, and just staying in love and being with each other. So that's what this series follows, and I remember liking the first 2 a lot but then not reading the other 2 for whatever reason, and I would like to go back and do so. We have The Bane Chronicles and The Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare. If you can tell, I'm trying to get back into Cassandra Clare. I've been a bit of a dormant fan for a while. I haven't read more than the original 6 plus Clockwork Angel, which I didn't really enjoy, so I'm going to try and go through the Bane Chronicles because I know I like Bane, and the Shadowhunters Codex links to the original series, so I think I'll be able to enjoy these 2. Bane Chronicles follows Magnus Bane and his stories, and the Shadowhunters Codex is like a textbook that's within the series made into its own thing. Then we have Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. I really like Leigh Bardugo's writing. I really liked the movie Wonder Woman, and I saw that Isabel read this one and enjoyed it in the end, so I'm going to give it its own try. It's about Wonder Woman, if you couldn't tell, and it's one of the DC superhero fiction books that have been coming out written by different authors. I don't have much interest in them other than this one and the Black Widow one, really, because those are the 2 heroes that I like. Then I got The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. This is one that I've been wanting to read for absolutely ages, so I'm glad I finally got my hands on it because I also want to watch the movie a lot, like a lot, and I would just like to hurry up and read it so I can watch the movie. So this one follows this guy who is a wallflower in school. He's not the most geeky, he's not the most popular, but he's still doing his coming of age and just trying to navigate through life, and I've heard that it deals with some mental illness topics as well, very well, so I'm looking forward to giving this one a try. Then we've got Molly's Game by Molly's Bloom, and this is a movie cover, and this is a movie cover I'm not actually fussed about having because it's actually nicer than the actual cover in my opinion. So Molly's Game is a movie that I watched last year, I think, and I absolutely adored it. It is so interesting. It's based on a true story about Molly Bloom's life. She ran an undercover game, and you're not really supposed to do that, but she was trying her best to keep it legal, and when things caught up to her, she had to kind of dig herself out of a hole. There was a whole court case and everything. It's so interesting. I really recommend going to see the movie, and the movie made me interested enough to want to read her true account of what happened. I'm excited. Then we have Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ning. I got this one because I read Little Fires Everywhere and absolutely adored that book. So I wanted to read the author's other work, which is this one. So this one's set in 1970 Ohio, and it follows this Chinese-American family who seem to be perfect. They have a favourite daughter who I believe is called Lydia, but when she's found floating in a lake dead, it means that things start to unravel, and we get to see that this perfect family is not that perfect, and there's a lot more going on beneath the surface. I just can't wait to read more of her work, really. Then we have Wicked by Gregory Maguire. This one comes recommended to me by my younger sister, who read this book and absolutely loved it. I've seen the musical, but I know that I need to distance the musical from this book because apparently the book is quite different from the musical, but it's still the same concept. It follows Elphaba, who is the witch that Dorothy kills later on in The Wizard of Oz, and we get to meet her when she's going to secondary school with Galinda, and they are just, you know, Elphaba's this prickly, antisocial kind of person who is green, and they are starting to form a friendship, I believe, and it just talks a lot about humanity and really spins this tale into this really thematic discussion. I cannot wait to read it. Next up is Love Letters to the Dead by Ava Delaria, and I read In Search of Us by this author last year and I wanted to read more by them. So Love Letters to the Dead follows this character whose sister has died in real life, and it starts off as an English project to write to someone who is dead, and she writes to Kurt Cobain, and she just continues writing to people who are dead as she's trying to not have to process her own grief emotions. If grief is mentioned in a book, it really interests me, so I do think this is going to be right up my street. Then I got This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay, and this is a non-fiction which follows a junior doctor, and it's basically the secret diaries of the junior doctor. So it's a non-fiction where he's telling his thoughts in little snippets about things that he has to experience and deal with as he's working in the NHS, like under pressure. And we had to read excerpts of this for my creative writing class when we were working on non-fiction creative writing, and I absolutely loved what I read, so I can't wait to get to his actual novel. But then I have The Radleys by Matt Haig and The Possession of Mr. Cave by Matt Haig. I've read 2 books by Matt Haig and I really loved them, and I just want to read more by this author. So The Radleys sounds right up my street. It's about this family who are vampires, and the kids don't know they're vampires until an accident happens and they suddenly find this out, and then it's about them kind of living their life, the Radley family. It just sounds so entertaining. And then we have The Possession of Mr. Cave. So Mr. Cave is this man who has just had such a tragedy happen to him. He's experienced his mother's suicide, he's experienced his son dying in an accident, and that also involved his wife's murder. So all he has left is his daughter Bryony. However, he just feels the need to protect her, and eventually this protection turns into possession and quite obsessive. So that is what this one is about, which sounds really dark, and it's going to be interesting to read both of these. Up next is Silence is Goldfish by Annabelle Pitcher. I've read 2 books by Annabelle Pitcher and I really enjoyed both of them, so I wanted to try more of her work. Silence is Goldfish is about this girl called Tessa, and she doesn't mean to become mute, but she becomes mute after she gets the shock of her life, which is that her father is not her real father, and as she discovers secrets about her past and her true relations, she realises that she needs to talk to someone, needs to tell someone about this, but she can't because she's mute, which is creating difficulty. And that's what this one is about, and I just think Annabelle Pitcher is a fantastic writer and I can't wait to read more of her writing. Then we have Mythos by Stephen Fry, and this is basically Stephen Fry telling the Greek myths. I got this one mostly because it's by Stephen Fry. I also enjoy Greek mythology, so I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. Got Metamorphosis and Other Short Stories, as well as The Castle by Kafka, and I love Kafka of what I've read of him. I've read Metamorphosis already, but I unhauled my copy of that because I would like to have this one where I have also his other short stories, and I'm looking forward to trying those. And then The Castle by Kafka sounds really interesting because it's about this man who will never be admitted to the castle, but he also won't be accepted by the village, and he cannot yet go home for whatever reason, so he's kind of in this in-between state. And I read The Trial by Kafka and really loved it, and it's also about this guy who's been arrested but he doesn't know what he's been arrested for, so he can't protest it, and he's also stuck in this in-between state. And seeing as I like that one, I think this one having a similar kind of premise, I'll also be able to enjoy it a lot. So my Kafka collection is growing because he's a brilliant writer. Next up we've got Killing It by Asia McKay, and I saw this one on someone's book blog and it just sounded so interesting that I had to have it. So it's about this mother who is an assassin. She's worked as an assassin and she's returning to work after her pregnancy leave, and she has a child, and she suddenly gets this job where she needs to infiltrate this group of new mothers. So it's like a mother circle that people do when they all have babies. She needs to infiltrate them and also do her job while also coming home in time to look after her child. So it's about this assassin who is balancing becoming a mother and her baby. I love babies in books. I love assassins. It's going to be a very interesting combination. I'm just so excited. Can you tell? So I got White Teeth by Zadie Smith and Northwest by Zadie Smith, which is NW. I've just heard a lot about Zadie Smith and how good she is, so I just wanted to give her a try for myself. White Teeth is her debut novel, and this one, it's kind of similar to her other novels. It follows 3 families from 3 different cultures, and it's just basically following their life stories, and I think it deals with a lot of social concepts while doing that. And then Northwest is actually about these 4 Londoners who grow up together and then they go their 4 separate ways, and it's following their stories as they try to navigate being in London and being of their cultures and living their lives, all doing different things, which I think will be very interesting, especially as I am a Londoner. Then we've got the book called The Man Who Was Thursday by G.K. Chesterton. For my crime fiction module last year, I had to read some of G.K. Chesterton's short stories and I was absolutely loving them, so I want to read more from him, and I'm also trying to collect these Penguin Classic editions. Anyway, so this one follows the Scotland Yard, and there is this undercover policeman who is sent to infiltrate the Scotland Yard, and he gets nominated to become Thursday, so he's called Thursday, and he has to survive the treachery and overruling of a policeman called Sunday. It just sounds so interesting. The title instantly hooked me, and then seeing it was by this author, I just know it's going to be good, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. And last but not least, I was gifted something by the lovely Rishi from the Bookworm Diaries when we met for the last time when we were in London, and that was Wishes Under the Willow Tree by Phaedra Patrick, I believe that's how you pronounce it. So this one follows this couple, Benedict and Estelle, I believe. Yes, Benedict and Estelle, and they fell in love and they got married. However, when they find out that they cannot have children together, their marriage kind of goes downhill from there and hits the rocks, and Estelle leaves him. But Benedict decides this is not going to be the end. He's going to win back Estelle, and this is about him attempting to do that. So it just sounds like a cute second chance romance to me. Please let me know in the comment section down below what is the latest book you've bought, received or acquired, and I would just love to chat if you've read any of these books or plan to. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. It also looks like tampons are on the cover. I know they're not tampons, but it looks like it.